Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the King's Podcast. I will be your host, JP, or Jep, or SioPau, YouTube content creator and FlyQuest's #1 fan. And with me are my favorite lads. Introduce yourselves, boys.
Hello, guys. It's your boy, P1 Atlan. Stream over on twitch.tv/P1Atlan, as well as make YouTube videos, where I mostly make shitty League of Legends content, where I attempt to get myself banned constantly.
That's true. And now,
It
a
is
boy,
true.
Eric.
Hello, my name is Eric. I'm a gamer. Buy Persona 5, trust me, it's a good game. You can find me on Instagram if you want. Later.
Okay, that's how.
We're not sponsored by Persona 5,
Yes, we are clearly not sponsored by Persona 5.
We could be.
but we could be
Please.
if they want to.
Anyway, we all know what we were gonna talk about, and you know what we love? League of Legends. Do you guys love League?
I do. I watch. That's my entire life, pretty much, playing and watching League.
So you basically live and
I
breathe.
eat, breathe, and live and shit League of Legends.
Oh my. So we
My
got a
goodness.
hardcore fan over here, guys.
Oh yeah, we are hardcore fans. Today we're gonna talk about the state of LCS, LEC, the big region, but not LCS. We'll
I
start.
gotta say, it's a giant shitfest right now.
Yeah, pretty much. I think every
Starting
region.
off with the LCS.
Yeah, let's start with the LCS, and let's start with the recent week. Let's talk about Cloud9 and what happened to them.
Oh god.
So, both of you.
I want to point out right now that myself and Eric are like pretty big Cloud9 fans. So our point of view is biased.
Yes,
You
they
play a
are very
t-shirt,
hardcore.
you gotta-
However,
gotta
we
support
also don't fucking beat around the bush. They are fucking trash right now. So but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to judge the state of the league right now, isn't it?
Mhm.
Every team's all over the place.
Yeah, and
For the most part.
yeah, right now TL is also making like a slow comeback of what happened in spring. Obviously, Broxton not making it in the first 5 weeks or something like that. Then they had Fire. Then it just dropped to like 10th place. Then Cloud9 also in that split won after 5 years.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
imagine if they didn't win. Is Cloud9 just gonna wait like another 5 years?
Probably.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
But I want to get individual opinions about Cloud9. What do you think about their situation right now, Eric?
Hard to say. It was going really, really well. They were just destroying everybody,
The usual.
top of the league, undisputed in first place, and then it's just from out of nowhere, out of left field, just 3 losses in a row.
Yeah.
It's just out of
And then,
nowhere.
and then the other
I
two
don't know what to say.
losses.
I don't know what to say, man.
Basically 5 losses almost straight.
Like,
But-
who could see this coming, man? It just showed up, and now it's like, well, shit. Now what?
Yeah,
What do we do with this?
it's pretty rough. It's like I mean, they won all those games. And then it was week 5. They looked shaky against TSM, but at the end of the day they still fucking stomped TSM. And then they went into the next game and they lost against 100 Thieves, and that was big because it was like their first loss of the split. And that was rough, but
But to be
they
fair,
draft-
100 Thieves was slowly making the way as a
Yeah.
decently good team.
But I'd say a lot of it was definitely you look at that the comp that was ran, and it was I'm not 100% specific or sure on this. I'm 90% sure though it was Wukong Senna bot, Cassiopeia mid,
Mhm.
Jarvan jungle, and I can't exactly remember who Licorice played in the top lane. But it was definitely not someone I think it was Jace actually. Someone like all those champions are not champions that are consistently
Played
thought
by,
of. Yeah, like all these champions are not thought, and it was like obvious that C9 were hard in first place. They're testing stuff out. 100 Thieves got the Olaf. They kind of snowballed.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't that worrying. And then they went into next week, and they kind of got shit on by Evil Geniuses as well. And that was another one where they were kind of playing weird champions, but then they went back and they were able to beat FlyQuest, and then they were able to beat IMT back to back. And in both those games, they looked really good. And then they lost to TL, Golden Guardians, and TSM, all three straight. And the TL game, they played a bit of a weird comp, but they still just didn't look great. And then Golden Guardians, it got to the point where it was them playing bad. So I think up until the Golden Guardians game, it felt like those 3 weeks were just, they were playing weird stuff. And then when they played the good stuff, they were so good. But now they just look actually bad, which is weird to me because I'm not sure. I think a lot of it's like a meta thing.
So it's not like coach diff or player diff.
Definitely. It's hard to say it's player diff or coach diff because all of Spring Split, half of Summer Split, and all of playoffs, they were easily the best team. So it's not like these players are bad. They were by far the best team NA has like ever seen for a long time.
Okay.
It's definitely some sort of read on the meta or just the way they're playing. Like they've definitely just lost control of something. And I think they can still get it back, or they could just continue to fall apart, which we've seen in the past from like teams like IMT, Immortals back in 2016.
Oh yeah.
Who just fell apart. So it's hard to say. I'm not sure. It's looking scarier and scarier every game for C9, but
not looking good right now.
They versed the Dignitas and Immortals, easily the two worst teams in the league next week.
Yeah.
I think
there should be like free wins.
A probably easy 2-0 for them. TSM versus TL and Golden Guardians, right? So that's easily a one-drop game from at least TL. Golden Guardians are looking good. TSM could drop easily a game, and then that's C9. If C9 2-0, assuming they do, they still get second place, and they still get a bye, which means that all these games they drop don't really matter that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like overall power, what do you think, JP?
Well, I
like
still think
in terms of like the best teams right now. That's what I meant.
Well, obviously, I still think Cloud9 is one of the top teams in NA, considering the standings right now. Like, it's Cloud9, TL, TSM or FlyQuest, and Golden Guardians. But I still think Cloud9 can show and prove that they're a really strong team and possibly win Summer. And who knows? They might do really well with this new roster in Worlds, which I'm really excited to see.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think NA are in a weird point. I think if you're looking at overall, like, where you're ranking each team, just like a brief summary or whatever, because obviously we can't talk about every team super in depth. But like, you know, Team Liquid definitely look like they just have a handle on things finally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I personally actually don't think it was I think Doublelift's I honestly don't think he's been that amazing this split. I don't think he's on form for what Doublelift's normally at. But I don't think if he was on Team Liquid, I don't think things would have I think things would have kept the same way as they've been progressing. Like, I don't think they would still be a bottom team if they didn't get rid of Doublelift. I think they would be 13-3 right now with Doublelift. Because I think that Tactical's good, and he's definitely an upcoming rookie that's, at the end, I'm glad they made that switch, because Doublelift's only getting worse, and Tactical is at his, you know, really good player. But I think I think they just them as a team. Impact stopped inting, Core JJ stopped inting, and they just found out how to play as a team. Which maybe tactical changed that, but I don't know. It's definitely interesting conversation. And then TSM is a weird one because they have a ton of players who look really bad. Like I think Spica looks pretty, not like the worst we've ever seen. Not worst for even right now. He's still probably top half of junglers or something, but he's definitely not great. And Broken Blade definitely looks like he's just running it down half his games. Double It doesn't look amazing. But I think the main thing about TSM is Bjergsen is on fucking point right now.
Oh yeah,
without a doubt.
100%.
And then you go down the table, just to name a few. FlyQuest are definitely looking on and up now that they've got rid of MASH and are playing Wild Turtle constantly. 100 Thieves are just looking like they're progressing new players and stuff really good. I'm glad that they're doing that.
I'm really excited if they put Kenvi. I'm sorry, but I love contracts and all, but I want to see Kenvi at least.
I think it's a hard one because Kenvi is a new player.
Oh yeah.
So I think contracts for now is probably better, just to keep the.
Oh, so you don't want to like ruin the
I think-
tempo for a bit.
You got the experience.
I think Poom and Ryoma are still pretty new, and
Yeah.
I don't see contracts as contracts. Cody-san is having a massive voice, so I think contracts is a really solid team leader.
Mhm.
Personally,
All right.
and then to name a few more teams, like Golden Guardians looks insanely good right now. I'm actually quite surprised. I think Demonte and Closer have been really good, and I think a lot of people call that out. But the biggest thing easily for Golden Guardians is FBI and Huhi.
They're pretty underrated, I'd say.
I hate it. I thought FBI looked awful even last split, but right now FBI and Huhi and FBI look like one of the best bot lanes in the entire.
Where would you put them if you have to?
Genuinely, I would genuinely put them like. This is a hard one because there's some good ones.
Yeah, it's hard.
I put them top 3 or 4.
Damn.
I think if you're looking at them, I think if you're looking at it, like, it's hard to say Tactical and Core GG aren't the best right now. I think Zen and Vulcan would be, but they've kind of, obviously the state of C9 is just falling apart. I say FBI and Hootie are after that.
Okay.
Because I don't think Biofrost and Double Lift and Treats, like, they changed him. They changed, but you can't argue that they had to change him out. It's not looking amazing. And then Wild Turtle and Ignar are looking really good. Bang Zazel. That's another thing. Evil Geniuses.
Bang
what the
and
fuck?
Zazel. It's hearing Bang and Zazel, it's like a very unexpected bot lane, but it worked really well.
But that's the thing, what's happening to Evil Geniuses right now? That's one of the things I haven't really been up too close in on, because they're 7-9 right now, and they lost their last 3 games.
Yeah.
Well, they lost to some really strong teams like FlyQuest, Golden Guardians.
They lost to Dignitas though.
Ooh.
Yeah, but that was really like quite
and
unlucky.
CLG.
Those 2 games were very unlucky.
I don't know. I feel like it's definitely golden. Like, I definitely think Evil Geniuses are looking like, that's the thing, is I think they should go back to what they were at the start of the split. I think Huni has been much better than Kumo, but there's just Jizuke's too good to take him out compared to Golden Glue. I like Golden Glue, but Jizuke is really good.
Yeah.
And so once you get rid of Jizuke, it's rough. And then CLG are looking pretty fucking bad. They picked up 5 wins at the start, which is really good, but then they have lost the last 6. Dignitas are definitely, like, they are just a mess, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, Dignitas, why are Dignitas still playing Viper?
I really don't know. I guess people thought, after seeing him playing for FlyQuest back in 2019 spring, I guess they didn't lose hope for Viper. He's an up and coming rookie. He also had Rookie of the Split. Remember that. But I guess his hype started falling off, and he's not the player that we like to see.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in FlyQuest, like in spring. Do you think he performed well? I think he performed average, but
yeah.
I definitely think there's a reason though he was taken out, right?
Okay, let's
for
hear it.
solo. Well, I don't know like a specific. I'm not part of the team, obviously, but I think Viper was easily the weak link of FlyQuest. All of
definitely
split, and as soon as they put solo in,
It's
they
like a
looked
different story. Yeah.
much better, and I think that's a big reason why I think they got to finals.
In conclusion, Riven mains have no brain.
I just think Viper. I think Viper looked good at some point, but I don't know. He's just running it down.
He's had his good moments, but it just gets really outshined by when he doesn't perform.
Yeah,
like, there's so many times where he just plays like absolute garbage, and then the times when he does play well, it just doesn't make up for it. Honestly,
for sure. Yeah. I think Dignitas is a weird story because they have shining lights like Johnson and Aframu. Like Aframu's really gotten better this split, and Johnson looks like a really good player. And like Phoenix Frog and Darlock, Acadian, Lordlo, they're not bad players, but they all just look like they all have like good plays, but then like they just look so rough most of the time. And then like, so Dignitas is a weird point for me because they are picking up, like if you look at their games, they have 4 wins. One of them is like FlyQuest they beat Evil Genius. I don't even know, like earlier weeks they would have picked up games against I can't even remember.
Beat again CLG.
Yeah. But they picked up a game against FlyQuest. They picked up a game against
EG.
Like EG. These aren't like terrible teams they're winning against. These are decent teams that they've picked up wins against. The issue is like it's weird because they have shining points at sometimes. But when they're not looking good, which is most of the time, they look like one of the worst teams NA has ever seen. That Golden Guardian game, I think it was, where they just sat there and they did nothing for 30 minutes and then they lost. And that was the game. They literally, there was like 2 kills the whole game. It was so disgustingly bad.
That really does not feel
like it was an LCK game, which was very boring. But I'm not saying LCK is boring. It's just the longer the game goes, for me, it gets really boring, and I don't.
They play very calculated, and they don't want to make any slight opening whatsoever. Whereas like an LPL team are fine with making slight openings because they have faith in just constantly fighting and stuff, and they're like, well, we're better mechanically, so it doesn't matter if there's an opening because we'll still beat you. Whereas an LCK team they're basically like kind of robots, like, right? They just want to play. They don't care if it looks fancy. They don't care how many like kills there or whatever. Like they just want it to be perfect down to the like everything. Like they want everything to be perfect.
They don't want any chinks in their armor, no holes in their playstyle. It just
I think there's a lot
everything optimally.
Yeah. I think there's a lot more teams that are like good to talk about here. Like, but I think the best one, just to wrap it up, is probably Immortals, because Immortals definitely they started with the roster that is now playing at Academy, and the Academy they're like losing all their games at Academy.
Yeah,
which is just insane to think that they thought it was an LCS roster. But as much as like if you look at Immortals games, they're still 4-12. This current roster isn't doing well. But I think they're getting close in a lot of their games against good teams. And as well, I think the biggest thing is I'm a fan of this Immortals roster because here's the thing. Dignitas and Immortals have the exact same record. But where it's different to me is Dignitas are just their shining moments are where they're picking up games. And I don't think it's like worth it. Like because their players just look awful and then they have like maybe one shiny moment which gets them 1 win, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
Where Immortals, they're not good, but they're playing insanity. They're playing like
rookies.
Alorum. They're playing new players who are looking bad because they're new, but they also are like clearly growing as the games go on. And I want them to play. Here's the thing: I want them to play Potluck and not Smithy because I want Immortals to say, okay, you know what? This season, I guess it's only 1 more week, so it's hard to say this. But I want them to, if they don't want to make a competent roster for next split, then I want them to go in and say, hey, you know what? Alorum, Potluck, Insanity, Apollo Haku, bot lane. I want, like, hey, that roster might not be great, but you know what? 3 of those players are going to be developing rookies who will be led by Apollo and Hakuo. And I think that is something that you say, okay, well, maybe we're not going to be great, but we're going to build these players up. And I like that from Immortals.
Oh yeah,
The
willing to take
potential of the
risks.
players is very high.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Give them the chance to show up and to make plays and gain experience, and then it'll pay off in the future once they've grown and solidified their play styles, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference between Dignitas and Immortals. They're very similar situations because they're both 4-12. But the difference is Dignitas are picking old players who are sometimes looking all right and picking up wins versus Immortals who have bad players, but they're developing them so they can be good players.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Whereas,
Yep.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I really like, as I said, I really like how Immortals are willing to take risks, even though it's like they already knew that they're not going to, playoffs and worlds and whatnot. So yeah, I would like to see other players as well, like from amateur to play in LCS or academy at least.
Actually, one more thing I want to say before we wrap it up and go to EU. Who do you guys think, like, in terms of what do you think the end standings are going to be? Who do you think is going to be the two teams who don't make it, and then I guess the top two teams who, or like what kind of like standings do you think it's going to be going into next week?
Ooh.
I guess I'll start since I posed the question. I think top two is going to be Team Liquid and Cloud9. I think Cloud9 right now, and I think next week even, are going to look worse than TSM.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
TSM are up against two of the strongest teams. Cloud9.
Yeah.
Cloud9, I'd argue that CLG and Dignitas are the worst teams. So I think those two will be top two. And then I think it's hard to actually I'm gonna go out and say that 100 Thieves are gonna get 6th place and Evil Geniuses are gonna move down to 7th.
Ooh, okay.
Because
Can I follow up with that question of why? What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Because if you look at the schedule for next week, Evil Geniuses is up against Golden Guardians, which look great.
Yeah.
And then that same day, 100 Thieves up against Dignitas. Easy win. Which means they will go into a tie. And then the last day, guess who's playing? 100 Thieves versus EG. They are both tied, fighting for 6th place. And I just think 100 Thieves looks better right now.
Okay.
At the end of the day.
That makes sense.
Versus EG. And then I think CLG are going to... I don't think they should, but I think they're going to get 8th place and make it into playoffs. Because Dignitas are not going to beat C9 and 100 Thieves. I just don't see it.
Definitely
And
not.
Immortals... Immortals are up against TL and the FlyQuest. Yeah, they're out. So
They're
yeah,
doomed.
I think yeah. Do you guys have any differences?
There could
in
be
opinion?
there could be also like a tiebreaker and see who still has like a chance to go to the playoffs, which is something that I would like to see. Also, CLG is one of the teams that also wanted to see make it to playoffs.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen, the tiebreaker, because of the fact that Evil Geniuses 100 Thieves are definitely gonna be the ones fighting for 6th place. And they play on the last day. Yeah. And so unless there's some weird stuff going down, I'm pretty sure that game will be the tiebreaker, basically.
Okay.
And then I just can't see a world where Dignitas and Immortals both somehow pick up a game from the best teams in NA.
Yeah, very unlikely.
Yeah. Eric, do you have anything?
Not really.
Ranking?
I pretty much
Have the same thing as Jeremy?
I pretty much agree with pretty much the same as what you guys said already. What?
Sorry, Bench Viper.
Now that's something I can agree with. Viper is not it.
All right.
Sorry, Chief.
Yeah.
Okay, I
All right.
guess. For my rankings for playoffs, obviously I want to see Cloud9 being a dominant team again, because it's been so long since we've seen that team perform to their highest peak. Remember 2013 where they were like this new up and coming team that everyone thought that they were gonna perform really badly, but unexpectedly they won spring or summer.
Yeah.
And I want to see Cloud9 being like that again.
Yeah.
And then for second, pretty biased by me, but I want to see. I want to say FlyQuest, but I don't think FlyQuest can make it to second. But
I
third,
don't think
hopefully.
they can. I don't think they
Not
actually
with
can.
not with only a week left.
Yeah, it's only a week left.
So, obviously, it's Cloud9 for. Well, I was just gonna say the top 6: Cloud9, TL, FlyQuest, TSM, Golden Guardians, and 100 Thieves. That's what I want to see.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that's it for NA then.
Okay.
And now we are going to talk about our second favorite region, by me, LEC. We all love Europe. We all love.
On to our brothers in the West.
We all love seeing EU shitting on NA. We all love.
Wait, that's not it. Wait.
It happens
I'm
every
gonna
time.
challenge that.
We don't love to see it, but it happens regardless.
It happens
Can't do
24/7.
anything about it. Son of a bitch.
Whether
So-
we want it or not, it happens.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. G2. What happened in
Oh,
G2?
What happened to G2?
can I-
Oh my.
Can I just say right now? I mean, I know Eric doesn't, super know it much, like a ton about it.
I don't watch much of EU.
So we'll help him out. But I watch. I think I've almost watched every game live this season of the EU.
Yeah.
And can I say, oh my god, what is the LEC right now?
What is
Holy
happening?
shit. This is literally, we're going into a last week for EU where the third place team in G2 could, I'm pretty sure, technically still get last place. There are 7 teams who are all basically tied. And this is last week. It's ridiculous.
Oh
It's
my
very
god.
ridiculous to see.
And
Like,
I'm so excited for it. I
I,
am so excited for it.
See, this looks like an absolute mess.
So wait,
I
where do you guys want to start? I think the easiest place to start is top 2 teams
Yeah.
because they are the most.
they're the most unexpected teams to.
It's a pretty big gap between them and
I
the
think
rest.
it's the easiest to talk about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
See, I know.
Oh, can I start
you've
about
been
that? Okay, no.
Oh yeah,
No, go for it.
I was
I'll let you
gonna say,
finish.
I know you're a Rogue fan. I was gonna say.
Big-
I think you're
for
also
only
like
one
this-
player.
Oh, I thought you said you're a
APC.
Rogue fan in the past.
Okay,
Go for it.
obviously, the first 2 teams who are tied in first, Mad and Rogue, pretty unexpected. I didn't expect Rogue to be in first, nor Mad Lions, but I'm pretty happy for those 2 teams because Mad Lions have all of them are basically rookies, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Except for Humanoid, I believe.
Other than Humanoid,
Yeah.
they are all, and I think Arome technically played a few games on Splice last year,
Okay.
but for the most part, yeah, they're all rookies to the league this year.
So those 2 teams are basically wildcards, and I love because. No, I'm just saying. I have nothing. I'm just gonna say they're a really good team that I really appreciate because they got shit on like last split. Well, not Mad Lions because they did beat G2 and send them to losers bracket, which is unexpected.
Mhm.
Caps. So so yeah, and for Rogue, God bless Rogue. Holy, I love this roster so much that they're inspired. I love that jungler so much. He's so great. He should get more recognition for his performance in LEC, and I hope he does.
Inspired is younger than all of us.
Yeah,
Can I-
we're washed up.
The heck?
Yeah.
Look where we are now.
Oh no. You're not gonna go that personal. Eh?
Yeah, dude, we're getting old. We're getting old.
We're getting old. We're getting really washed up, my friends.
Yeah,
Feels
no.
bad.
I'd say Mad Lions and Rogue are definitely the
Team to beat.
the team to beat. But actually, at the same time, if you look at it, SK. Here's the thing. As much as Mad Lion and Rogue definitely are the top 2 teams, really easily.
Yeah.
You have to look at the last 2 weeks specifically and look at the fact that Mad Lion have lost to Vitality and SK, and Rogue have lost to G2 and SK. So in the last 2 weeks, these teams are dropping games.
Yeah.
Right? They're not safe. Even this is as the person who has watched every single game, I think, of LEC this split. These teams, the whole thing about LEC right now is it's a mess, and I think it actually looks like it's really fun as a viewer, but it is kind of concerning to see how many teams are just losing games they shouldn't.
Yeah.
I think the teams in EU have definitely regressed. They look worse this split, but at the same time, I would say that there's a reason for that in the fact that almost every team is made up of like rookies this split, this
Rookie
year.
split.
Yeah, because EU develops rookies really well compared to NA, where we just get imports and waste money.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd say just to go through Mad Lions and Rogue because they're the least interesting in terms of, well, not least interesting, but there's the least to talk about them. I'd say.
Okay. Makes sense. That's fair.
Because they look the most solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're winning.
but they definitely are dropping games. I'd say for the most part, Mad Lions are definitely impersonating G2 from the last few years, where they are just having fun. They're playing their game. They're doing their stuff, and they just are such good friends. They're great friends. They're having fun, and they're doing their own thing. And that's G2. And I feel like they've kind of, as G2 have fallen this split, they have kind of picked up and done what G2 used to do.
Yeah.
Is there a better recipe for success though? Like
Really though,
that sounds like a great way to just go at the game.
Genuinely, they're having fun. They're doing their own thing.
They're just doing what they want to do.
It's working.
Yeah.
And I think Rogue, I honestly don't know what to say about Rogue. They look good. I wouldn't say there's anything too interesting about them though. They have good players. They're kind of just kicking ass, and they look good as hell.
Just a solid squad.
But yeah, I think if we want to go down from there, I think the best way to talk about this is then to go to, because that's the thing, is these next, like, all 7 next teams are kind of in the same boat. But I think the best thing to talk about here is I would like to talk about simultaneously, at least, G2, SK, and XL next.
Yeah.
Because I think all 3 have similar-ish stories. In the fact that they are definitely, I'd say they're definitely a league above the rest of the teams.
Okay.
And I know you guys have watched less. And I know Eric pretty much hasn't watched much LEC, and
Hardly.
JP mostly watches his favorite teams. So I'm gonna guess that JP, you've watched less of like SK and XL games.
I've only watched Rogue and Misfits.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Here's the thing: SK and XL are such an interesting story. G2, I'll talk about really quickly here first because it's actually pretty easy to sum up G2. Why they fell apart, to me, is because I just think Perks does not look like he's on top. I mean, if you look at the last week, their last 3 games were wins. They're on their way up. I think they're going to come back, and they're probably going to win the split still, in my opinion. I just feel like that's the G2 way.
It's a bold word.
He also got benched. Remember, he also got benched.
Here's the thing. He did not actually get benched. He took a week off because that was the thing. This is probably a big reason why Perks has been looking bad. Is his dad actually passed away earlier in the split?
Rest in
early in
peace.
the split. So he took a week off to take a break. And so they took it on him.
Apologies.
Yeah, that was the big reason. So I think that's a big reason why Perks doesn't look as good. I think, honestly, to me, G2 look like Perks is just not playing at the same. But I think a lot of it, they look burnt out to me. They look like they've been pushing themselves for so long. They just look burnt out. But I feel like in this last 2 weeks, they definitely have picked it up a lot. And again, I think G2 will win because of the fact that that's the G2 way. And I really don't think Mad Lions and Rogue are at a point where they're significantly better.
Do you think they'll make it to a playoff? Not playoffs, Worlds though, because we all know that EU is sending 4 teams.
They do. That is a
Lucky.
very good point. And I think I want to get to that at the end because I have my opinions on who will be the 4 teams.
Okay, yeah, we can all have our 4 teams.
But yeah, I think SK Gaming and XL are in similar boats where they both were like the bottom 2 teams last split.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess Vitality was bottom, but SK and XL were like pretty much bottom teams last split. And they didn't really change much. I mean, XL brought in Special and Cries.
Yeah.
And Special does not look that good. And Cries looks all right. He looks pretty good for a rookie. And then SK actually switched Gen X, their mid laner, up to top lane. And then they brought in Zazie. I think I'm pronouncing that correct.
Zazie, yeah.
And they didn't change much. But here's the thing for these 2 stories is their ADCs are so good. I don't know what happened, but Crown Shot for SK, and don't get me wrong, SK's team is actually really good. All like Gen X feels like he fit into the top lane, his role swap so well. Trick is killing it. Zazie is killing it. But I think the big story for both these teams is Crown Shot and Patrick. Patrick to me is actually like 1v9ing on XL because of the fact that I've seen him and he just keeps picking Aphelios and he just keeps literally going 8-0 and then just 1v5ing team fights. And it's
200 years, by the way.
200 years.
But it's insane because that's the thing. Is like, sure, Aphelios broken lol meme.
Yeah.
But Patrick takes it to the next level, I feel like. And he's just killing it. As well, then Crown Shot. I know everyone at EU is like he's becoming like the most popular player in EU. I think everyone
Do you
loves.
think both? Do you think both Crown Shot and Patrick are underrated or overrated, or at least rated?
It depends because I think in the past Patrick was overrated on G2. Sorry, G2 Origin last year, and then people kind of stopped talking about him, and now he looks like insane, and I think people are talking about him justifiably so. And for Crown Shot, he was definitely, I feel like, overrated for his first like rookie split, but now he's looking like really solid. So I think both of them are rated right now fairly so. Yeah, I think for the most part, these teams are just teams you wouldn't expect to be at the top, but they're just killing it. And I think they're also capitalizing on the league's looking weak.
I don't know about weak, but they're definitely in.
I don't know. The league is looking kind of weak. Like, this is a perfect way to transition into Fnatic, Misfits, and Origin.
Oh boy, fun times.
Because what the fuck?
Can we start with Misfits before we go to Fnatic?
I feel like Misfits and Fnatic are the same discussion from what I've watched.
But
they are both teams who consistently just are like, you know what? We're going to get a lead. And then they just say, hey, you know what? This lead that we have, fuck it, we're going to lose now. And I watched the Misfits and Fnatic game, and they both just threw against each other over and over again until I think Fnatic won. But my god, neither team can close out a game.
Really
it's
bad to
so bad.
see this, like, in my opinion, both Fnatic and Misfits
It is.
are like top tier teams, right?
They're good teams.
Yeah, they were really good last split, and I think for Fnatic they looked really good. And Mithy, I thought, was an insanely talented coach. He really felt like his draft was miles ahead of even G2 last split, and G2 won the split. So I think that was really insane. I think the biggest thing with Fnatic right now is the fact that, to me, Selfmade and Nemesis do not look good.
Do you think they don't mash well?
I think that they're playing fine like together, but I think mechanically they feel lost. Like there's just moments where Selfmade will just be 1v3 in the enemy jungle, and it's just like, why are you there? Or Nemesis just getting solo killed for seemingly no reason. And then I think Hylissang is a big problem. Hylissang, mechanically has always been insane, and I think he still is, but dude's running it down.
That's like coordination issues to me.
If you look at I don't exactly know. I think I'm gonna pull up player stats right now and then look at deaths.
Are you saying that he's pulling a stunt?
Yeah, actually, yeah. But yeah, if you look at this, Hylissang is pulling in pro play. He's pulling 5 deaths a game.
Oh my.
That's bad. That's really not good.
That's not it.
Yeah, like
That's
mind you,
not
the
it,
second closest is 4 at Jacktrol, and he's not good. And then you got Bwippo at 3.8, which is like an entire death and a half less. And like that's just he's really running it down.
That's really like.
And I think Misfits is a similar situation where the team just is not meshing well. They looked really good because now mind you, these names are hard to pronounce. Denik was their like star support, and he looks really good. And then they brought in Kabe, who's a good player.
Yeah.
But Kabe and Denik or whatever did not apparently the rumors are they did not match together well. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. They did not play well together. So Misfits all of a sudden brought in DOS into this split, and DOS does not look good. There was a moment where there was a team fight going really well for Misfits. I remember this so clearly because it was memed to hell.
I don't want to remember that.
They were fighting super well. They were winning the game, and they started chasing the enemy team down. And then all of a sudden, Bard puts a portal. Bard puts a portal through this wall that Kabe was right beside, and because Kabe is walking up, he accidentally clicks on the Bard portal and ports right into the entire enemy team all by himself and dies. And it's just like, well, but why did you put it there? You didn't need to put the Bard portal there, and you just killed your ADC. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I think for the most part, you can go more in depth with it, obviously, but Fnatic and Misfits just seem like they both do not know what they're doing in terms of team.
Yeah.
I like to call that shitting the bed.
And then Origin is a weird one as well. I don't really know Origin with this. Origin consistently put a roster together that I feel like should be good. What's their roster? Alfari, Zerze. These names are.
Yeah, you pronounce it Zeze.
All right. Nuke Duck, Upset. Like these 4 players were all considered.
Like, all really good. They're like top tier like players.
Zerze was considered like the best jungler last year. Upset is like super hyped up. Alfari is considered one of the better top laners. Nuke Duck has always been like hyped up super high. These are all players that should be so good. I don't know why they just keep failing. And Destiny in support was just that they brought from Australia, which I was really hype about. Did not look like he was playing good. So what do? They bring in
Jacktrol, baby.
Jacktrol, the worst support you've ever seen. Actually, that's promised me is pretty bad. But yeah, fucking what is Jacktrol, dude? Why are they bringing him up?
I wouldn't. This might sound like really bad, but I don't think he's that bad. Obviously, we've probably seen worse players than Jacktrol, but it's just really unexpected for this up-and-coming player to be, shitting the bed over and over.
He's not even up-and-coming Jacktrol.
Well, used to. He did really well in Team Vitality. With like
he was pretty old now. It's been multiple years, actually.
He's 21. I don't think he's old.
It's been 3 years. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I feel like Destiny, Jacktrol, it doesn't matter who you put in. This team definitely just has, actually similar to Fnatic and Misfits, they definitely just have team cohesion problems.
Okay.
And then, just to sum up the bottom 2 teams, hopefully quickly, I'm not sure how long we've been talking about this, but it's Cabochard. Team Vitality. I call it Team Cabochard because
Team Cabochard. Hell
the face of the team.
Cabochard.
Yeah, so I'd say this team is actually kind of hype. I'm actually a big fan of it because they have they've been switching their junglers out. Skeens and Najee, that's wrong, but whatever. I'm not gonna even attempt. Melitza, Comp, Labrov, all players that are new and actually look super, super hype. Now, mind you, Vitality, I don't think is gonna make. They might make playoffs, but I'm not entirely sure. It's really hard to call with
but
how
who knows?
It's so hard to call. But the point is, I'd say that Team Vitality, whether they make playoffs or not, they succeeded with this split because last split they went 2-20. 2-16, and they basically were 1-17 because the last game that they won, Fnatic trolled and went Graves with Leandre's. So they were given a free win. So they went 1-17 basically. So that was a bad team, and then they turned it into a team that could go. At this point, they could end 9-9. That is a success, you know. And I think all of these players are going to be really good for next split. I'd say Vitality, you keep this going into next split. You maybe trim some stuff up a bit, make it look better, and you set this team up. And I think you can make it go even further.
Yeah, I think it could work.
What about Schalke? Anything comments for Schalke?
Schalke. Ooh, I have so many comments. You don't know. I am fucking smiling. Dude,
we all love Schalke here, Jeremy.
Dude, I love Schalke. They're my favorite team right now. They're last place. They're last place, but not for long. Because Schalke, who I cannot stop smiling, guys. Schalke were 1-10. They were 1-10. They looked bad. They looked real bad. They got fucking God Gilius up in here. They got fucking Abadage. They lost Forgiven. They lost a lot of their players, I think.
I mean, to be fair, losing Forgiven wasn't big.
Not a big thing.
Yeah.
It does not.
I mean, Forgiven also ruined his career, which is like expected from this guy.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that you have to remember. Week 5, Schalke were 1-10. They were 1-10. That is not good. That is not good at all. And then they went into week 6, and they played G2, and they played Misfits. Now, Misfits and G2 were like middle of the pack teams. They were not looking great at this time. So they took both those games, and everyone was like, oh, damn, cool. Then Schalke took Origin and XL. And sure, yeah, Origin falling apart as well. That was pretty good, I'd say. So yeah, it's pretty impressive that they took those games. So they're now 5-10, and then
a 4-0 week. Imagine
the next 3 games. Okay, get this. Next 3 games, Fnatic, which are falling apart. That's a winnable game.
Mm-hmm.
Vitality, I like Vitality, but that's a winnable game. And then Mad Lions, and you can joke. You can joke like, oh, Falk is gonna beat Mad Lions. Yeah, nice joke. Blah blah blah. But Mad Lions have lost games to bad teams before. That's possible.
There's a possibility, yeah.
They could go 1-10 to 8-10. And I really want it. And mind you, if they won the next 3 games, I think there's a possibility that they could get 3rd place. Don't quote me on that, because that might be a complete lie.
I think the stars would have to align for that.
The stars have to align.
Currently 3rd place is G2, 8-7. And if Schalke win 3 games, they're 8-10. So I think it could happen, and I want it. Because Schalke have pulled it back. God Gilius all the way. He is my fucking religion. Yeah.
So who do you think are your top 6? Like, realistically.
Top 6? I'd say I'm probably the only one qualified to say this because I watched all the games.
Yeah.
But it's definitely Mad Lions Rogue. They're already confirmed. G2 gonna make it. SK, they're gonna make it, in my opinion. I think XL could drop out. I mean, mind you, G2 and SK could drop out as well. Yeah. But G2 and SK just look much better than everyone else, and I'd say XL too. All 3 of these teams have easy leaders or stuff that make it so in my opinion, are gonna get in. And I'm gonna make the call that mind you, it's probably gonna be Fnatic. But you know what? Fuck that. Schalke are gonna make playoffs, baby!
For the win, boys.
We want the underdogs go.
I want it so bad. I'm watching. I'm gonna be watching. On Friday, I'm gonna be watching actually, I think I'll work Friday. But on Saturday, I'm gonna be watching these games, and they are making playoffs. Quote me on it, baby. And
baby.
For 4 teams that go to Worlds, Mad Lions, Rogue, G2,
Mad Lions.
But you know what? Not SK. Schalke are going to Worlds, baby.
We're going to Schalke.
No, if I'm actually making a prediction, I'm probably making a prediction of Mad Lions, Rogue, G2, 100%. I think there's a good chance Fnatic pull it back and go to Worlds because it's just the Fnatic way.
Imagine
You know,
a world
it's
where
just
Fnatic misses. Wait, have they already missed
Yeah.
worlds?
Season 6
Yeah.
and season 2. Yeah, I think there's probably Fnatic. I don't know. I think Fnatic are gonna pull it back somehow. But if the most likely scenario is Mad Lions, Rogue, G2, and SK go to Worlds.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, I think that's
Sounds good to me.
a good call. All right.
All right, now we're gonna move away from the west.
I took over your thunder. Go for it, JC.
How dare you steal my thunder? P1 Atlan.
Do him like that.
Shulkin got me so into this.
Goddamn Platlin.
He's hype.
Goddamn Platlin. Alright, now, again, we're going away from the west.
Oh, but I like the West.
Well, we have shit teams anyway.
Shit region, by the way.
We're going to the east and talk about our number one favorite region, Korea. My God.
The one that
The OGs.
The one that, in fact, none of us watch. No, that's not fully true. I watch sometimes.
I watch Sandbox.
I watch sometimes.
Because only one reason. Yamato Cannon is in
I'm not good at being able to watch the games that early though. So I stay up to date on, like, I don't watch all of them, but I stay up to date on, like, I read a lot of stuff. So
I'm just gonna say time zone difference.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Okay, so this is probably gonna be like a pretty brief summary because we know a lot less about this region.
Yeah.
Let's just start from the bottom because there's not much to talk about. JP, pronounce the name for me because I cannot.
Honestly, at this point, I don't know how to pronounce it, and I don't want to butcher it, so let's just call it APK Prince.
You did it yesterday.
I know. I don't want to butcher it. It's Solhae1.
Solhae1?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but if I butchered it, please do not attack me.
Please attack him on Twitter.
I tried.
There's not much to talk about when we talk about Solhae. Hi.
Hey.
APK.
Oh, this is going great.
Okay, there's not much to talk about.
We can talk about our boy Mickey because he's back.
He's back and he's fucking awful. I don't know. All the players just.
He probably left XL like from a scrim game and just went home to Korea.
Hell yeah, man. Anyways, yeah.
And also, let's talk about Holman Life. Where you were like,
Ethan,
I think this team's.
Let me sum this up beautifully, okay? APK Prince, we're gonna call them. We'll sum them up by saying they've lost 12 games in a row.
Oh no!
And then we're gonna go right to Holman Life, which are also 1-12.
I remember specifically you hyped this team.
I did. Okay, I will point out that they have Viper and Lehens, which were Griffin's bot lane from last year. So that will hype me up, but it didn't work out.
Didn't work out for that one.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. When I predicted Home of Life was gonna be good, I predicted it at a time when I thought that their mid laner was gonna be better. I love Lava, and I thought he could have been good at one point, but he definitely doesn't look good now. And then you go Haru. What the fuck happened to Haru? He's fallen off. Kuve is much past his prime. They're at the end of the day, I think their top side just looks like a mess. Viper and Lehens, I don't think they're amazing right now, but they definitely look like the strong point of that team. And I think the best way to sum up Home of Life is just their top laner that they replaced Kuve with is named Dudu, and I think that really just sums up the team entirely. I don't know what.
There's another Viper. Two of them.
He didn't know. We forgot to mention that there are 2 Vipers in.
Oh my god, this is getting out of hand.
Okay, sorry. Did you were referencing the fact that there's a Viper, there's a second Vipers in like the ADC Viper?
I did not.
No, that's just that there's two Vipers, bro.
Yeah, you were referencing that. You said that as soon as I said doo-doo, and so I thought you were calling. I thought you were just saying, "Oh, hey, it's Viper."
Hey, I didn't know you moved to Korea. What the fuck?
Who knows? That might be Viper playing Korea.
So Eric, just Viper is the ADC who was on Griffin. You remember Griffin from last year?
Yeah, they were popping off, man.
Yeah, their ADC was Viper, and now he's on Home of Life.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
Yeah.
Shit, my
Yeah,
bad.
you unintentionally just roasted Viper though so hard because I said
Hey man,
fuck
everyone
doo-doo,
does
and
it.
you were
Let's
like,
be real.
oh, it's Viper.
Everyone roast
alright.
Viper. That's a fact.
To go to the next few teams, Team Dynamics.
And
Here's the
KT.
thing: Team Dynamics don't like they're 4-9. They don't look as bad as the other two teams, but holy shit! If you watch this team, they in their wins, in the games that they win, they're basically just like they have such a heavy lead, and then they just don't do anything with it, and then sometimes they get lucky and they win their games. But they just like they get these leads and then they just sit on them and they just wait, and then the enemy team outscales them and they lose. And I think a big part of that is just oh god, another Googer, whatever the fuck, however you pronounce it. Their support. And I think their ADC is a rookie, looks pretty bad. He is just kind of throwing so often.
I mean, to be fair,
Kuzan, my opinion, one sec. In my opinion, Kuzan, I really like Kuzan, and I don't think he's terrible, but I just don't think he's enough to carry the team.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on, JP.
To be fair, Team Dynamics was from Challenger, and the teams they're going up against were pretty bad, as I'd say. And
Very true.
and when was the when was the last time we saw like a Challenger team make it to playoffs? Which was Griffin last year, but they're not Griffin. They're not
And Damon.
and Demon, but they're not those teams. These teams are like just unexpected players who just got picked up from the streets.
And also, I will point out another small team, Team Battle Comics.
Oh boy.
Rest in
We'll
peace, Battle Comics.
We'll get into it in a second. Okay. Team Dynamics. I think it's just easy to sum up with their bot lane looks pretty bad. They don't know how to play. They don't know how to close out games at all. Kuzan, I think, is a good player, but I also think he's just not enough and also not good at. I don't think he's like a fucking top tier LCK mid laner. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
As well, Rich is pretty bad. Rich, their top laner, can only play Aatrox, and then he never plays Aatrox.
Maybe he should rename his. Maybe he should rename to Poor because he's playing poorly.
He can only play Aatrox. That's like his only good champion.
Well, he's
And I watched a series the other day. I think it was last week or something, where Aatrox was up every game, and you just think, okay, Team Dynamics, Rich, you're pretty bad. Just play your. Aatrox might not be a great champion right now, but he is your only good one, so pick him. And then he picks Akali, and he is. So yeah. Team Dynamics, everyone.
So basically pulled a Tim.
Okay, and then
Oh no.
and then we got good old KT Rolster.
My God, what happened?
KT Rolster
You have players like Smeb, Kuro, Yukal.
Yeah, KT Rolster are the epitome of what the fuck. 'Cause that's the thing.
What happened?
Guess what KT Rolster beat? KT Rolster, they beat DRX, the top team. But they also, who did they lose to? They've also lost to, which one was it? Where was it? They lost to
Team Dynamics as well.
Yeah, they lost to Team Dynamics. They lost to just like random teams that they should not have lost to, and it's just kind of weird. Yeah, KT Rolster are a weird team. They lose and win. They lose against the worst teams, and they win against the best teams sometimes. It's just, but at the end of the day, they usually just look pretty meh. And I will say right now, this is really sad to me because aiming Tucson, two bot laners, two of the people in the bot lane who I really love. Then you got Kuro and Yukal, who I think used to be really. What happened to Yukal, man? He used to be so good.
Hey man, things happen in Korea that's like
Anyways,
living in NA.
Anyways, yeah, definitely. But I think the biggest thing is their top side. I think Kuro, Yukal are kind of. I think Kuro's better than Yukal actually. I think, but they have their off modes and they have their good moments. Aiming and Tucson are really good in my opinion. The biggest thing for KT Rolster is the fact that Soan and Smeb in the top lane just look bad, And then Bono and Malrang are just running it down, dude. They are not good. If KT Rolster gets a prominent top side, I'd say this team could be good. But
Do you think Ray's not performing as he should be?
Malrang?
Our boy Ray. Come on,
Ray.
man.
Ray hasn't played in against the split.
Yeah, do you think he's like the most consistent player in
Yeah. I think that Ray is definitely the most consistent player as he's consistently not there. Because he's not on the roster anymore.
You can't lose if you don't show up.
Exactly. Okay.
100% win rate, baby.
And then
I just want to point out that for most of our talk about spring standings instead of the summer standings, so don't flame me, please.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I think we got a little good old team called Team Battle Comics. Sorry, Sandbox Gaming, but they used to be called Team Battle Comics.
Yes.
I love that name.
Team Battle Comics.
Yamato can really turn this team around, didn't he?
It was a very good and unexpected pickup because, of course, the downside to that, Yamato kind of doesn't speak Korean, so he has to get like a translator. But his game knowledge is just so on point. It's amazing. It's so amazing. I adore him.
I think that's the thing. If you look at what was it, they were 0-5 until Yamato Cannon showed up, and now they're 6-8.
Yeah.
And so that looks good on paper. I think, but I still say this Sandbox is definitely a weird one because Summit and On Fleek at one point last year looked like, mind you, On Fleek, great name, beautiful. But both players at one point last year looked like, to me, the best players in each of their positions. On Fleek was the best jungler and Summit was the best jungler at some point of last year, and they were really good. And for some reason this year, something happened, and Summit and On Fleek just don't look that amazing anymore. Their mid lane situation's a bit weird. Dove and Fate kind of go back and forth sometimes. I think they're mostly playing Fate now. They look good, but they definitely look... I think Fate specifically looks really new, and so he's kind of a bit not there yet. And then, to me, their bot lane is my favorite part, surprisingly, because I love Summon on Fleek. I think Route is Teddy 2.0. He was on Jin Air. He was on Jin Air last year. He was 1v9ing every game, and then they got relegated, and then he went to another team. That was Teddy. That was Teddy for the longest time. But now that's Route. Route was so good, and then he came over to Sandbox, and I still think he's really good, but he just doesn't seem like it's enough. Gorilla is definitely not at his peak, but I don't think he's terrible. So I think, God, there's a bunch more teams. I'm gonna do like a quick round right now. Afrika definitely look like they are literally the gatekeepers. That is just Afrika in general.
Yeah.
Their mid laner is pretty weak. Fly doesn't look great. Spirit kind of looks off a bit. Definitely not his best. Ben, I don't know. Ben, their support is just kind of meh. I take it back with Spirit. I think he looks good, but I just don't think he looks at his peak.
Okay.
And then Kin and Mystic are definitely the hard carries of this team. But I'd say if you look at it, Afrika are definitely the gatekeepers. They lose to every team above them. They beat every team below them consistently. So you can't really say much else about them.
They're just neutral.
I hope that Mystic and Kin get a good team because goddamn they need it. Those two players are hard carrying this team into fucking playoffs. And then we got T1, which is
the only team that Eric knows like very well. Because everyone knows T1.
Everybody knows SKT.
That's true.
Come on.
Yeah, it's Tyler Once.
Yeah.
Tyler One team, guys.
That's the thing though.
I was so confused about. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Tyler One has a U-Sport? What the fuck? Oh wait, why is Faker on? Hold on,
what's going on? Anyway, Jeremy, continue.
It's a bit of a weird one to me because they actually did not look that amazing most of the split. They're 9-4 now, but up until they actually benched Faker.
Bruh.
For closer.
They benched Faker for closer, not to be confused with Golden Guardians closer.
This one has a Z, folks.
Let's see. Yeah, he just turned 17. A week before he came into the LCS, he literally turned 17, and that's why he was allowed to play that week. Is because he just like a week before that turned 17. He's young.
Now,
But
Jeremy, do you know any information about Closer playing for us?
Not much. Not much, but he looks good. He looks damn good. To be that confident and that good, you're turning 17, you're replacing Faker. Holy shit. That's impressive.
Pressure,
To be confident in a situation like that is
God damn.
insanely awesome by him.
I'm sure
Dude,
anyone would
imagine
crack from that.
Imagine that. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, T1 is kind of coming back. They're definitely looking a lot better. And then we go up to Genji. Genji is a weird one to me because they constantly look like they should be the best team,
Oh yeah,
but they constantly aren't.
it's like an on and off thing.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. They're 10-3. That's a really good score, but they also just don't feel like they're the best team, or like
Sometimes they just don't want to be the best team. They just want to chill for.
But for the most part, they have a really good roster. BD in the mid lane is an insanely good player. Ruler is one of the best players ever.
Agreed.
I can agree.
Clid was on SKT last year, and he looks not as good as SKT Clid, but he looks good still.
He's still like.
I think all these players, Life's, Rascal, they all look good, but I think the team-wise, they just lose games sometimes, and I don't know.
Genji
I don't know how to
is a
sum
mood.
up Genji.
Genji
And
is
then, of
just a
course,
mood.
Yeah, no, pretty much though. And then you got Damwon and DRX, which are probably the best, easily the best two, and the most interesting to talk about.
They're just winning
because they definitely are. Damwon, have
Damn, that
basically
Redbird.
Damwon have almost the same roster they've always had, except they have Ghost now instead of Nuclear.
Also, what happened to Flame? I thought he was playing, and yet
No,
I'm not saying Flame is better than Naguri. Naguri is significantly better than Flame. But what happened to Flame?
I think what happened to Flame was that he came over like at Damwon's first split, and then he didn't get a lot of play. He got some play time, but not a ton.
I mean, it's fair to like, have Naguri.
What happened? Yeah, no, Flame played with them throughout the first years, 2019. And then I actually don't know where he is now.
He is currently still a sub for Damwon Gaming.
I think he might be in a coach position, though, I thought.
I'm not sure. He's still... Apparently
No,
he's still...
He's a sub. Yeah, he's a sub. Yeah, I'm not too surprised. He's been playing since Season 2. He played in Season 2 Worlds, so he's
a boomer.
Getting old now. Yeah, Damwon. And then DRX is... Yeah, DRX is great. I love DRX. They said Chovy and Doran said, you know what, fuck Griffin, we're leaving.
Yeah,
and
basically, that's what they said.
And they gave Deft a good team! Finally!
My god.
Finally Deft gets a team! And Piosik definitely looks like he's off sometimes, but when he's good, he's good. And Kyria, rookie support, looks spicy.
That's a perfect way to describe a player. Spicy.
Yeah.
DRX, I'm just so happy Deft got a good team. Deft is one of my favorite players of all time, and he just had such a bad team for so long.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't even seen Deft playing for Korea because he was stuck in China because of the Korean exodus.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'd say just to sum up, who I think is going to make playoffs. DRX. I think DRX, Damwon, Genji, T1, and Frika.
That's four. That's already four.
No,
I believe.
Yeah. It's 5 playoffs.
Can Korea get 5?
Yeah, Korea's 5.
Oh.
So it's DRX, Damwon, Genji, T1, and Afrika to me are going to make it.
That's a really good.
And for Worlds, as sad as I am to say this, it's probably going to be Damwon Gaming. I think they're going to get first. They look like the best team right now.
Okay.
DRX are going to get second, and I think T1's going to get third. I don't want them to. I want Genji to go. I love Genji, but Genji just don't win when it matters. And T1 are now coming back with closer, so I think they're going to pop off.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
All right, JP, take us away to the next one.
And we're going to the
On to
Number
China.
1 best region for now,
No.
China.
For now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Let's before Jeremy starts his
His rant.
favorite rant. I want to start this off by saying, what happened to China, specifically Victory 5? Now, what happened in Victory 5? They didn't win a single game. They took games from they obviously took games, but
Yo,
not a
what?
single win from Spring Split. But now, all of a sudden, they're 10-5. And then
0-17.
then EDG 7-8.
Oh.
And Funplex and RNG are right now. They're kind of shitting the bed. But I want to transition it to Jeremy. What do you think about it, buddy?
Okay, I'm gonna speed run this because there's a lot of teams.
There's 17 teams.
And I know the least about LPL Pro. Actually, I think I know less about LCK than I do about LPL. But there's just a lot of teams in LPL, so
To make it less, let's just say the bottom teams right now.
I'm definitely just gonna grind out a lot of these teams, not even mention the players much. So Dominus and LNG are they're just bad. They're
Simple.
bad.
Very simple.
They've
I like
always
it.
been bad.
Straight to the
Yeah.
point.
I will say with I think it's LNG. I want to say LNG. I'm really sad about LNG because LNG. Flandre is their top laner. He's been around for a long time, and he's always been such a good player. And what was it? He kept sticking with the org so long and was super dedicated to them. And then they just tried to sell him off for cheap, or no, not for cheap, for a ton of money. Because they're just like, oh, we don't want him on our team anymore. And he kept with the org for so long, and it was just such a betrayal.
Damn.
And I wanted him to go to
hurt.
RNG. I wanted to go on RNG and make Uzi's final split, the mega roster, but then Uzi retired and it just didn't come. Just didn't happen.
To be fair, Uzi had a wrist injury, which is fine.
Definitely.
We all love Uzi.
Yeah,
Do perform well.
he
but
definitely needed to take a break. He definitely needed to retire.
LNG should have picked up Okyu though.
I was really no fuck right. We're not going to talk about it. As much as I love, no, sorry, what am I trying to say? Uzi is I'm really as much as he definitely needed to retire, for his wrist. I'm really sad that he didn't get to play that one last Raw. I was hoping RNG would build a super roster around him. They obviously didn't want to, and so Uzi, I think that's why Uzi decided to retire. For
Too young
he
to
was
retire too.
He's like, well, my wrist isn't getting better, and if you're not going to build a super roster on me, then I'm done. Yeah,
fair.
and it makes sense. RNG's rosters now suck. So, and then you got E-Star. Really sad. They changed one player and they go from 10-4 to fucking 3-11. But it was their best player. So it's
That's
rough. It really is. OMG, I'm really sad about. However, Eric is playing for OMG.
Wait.
There's a
There's
player.
There's a player on their team whose username is just Eric.
Yo, I'm a fucking LPL player now.
They
Shit.
suck though, so you shouldn't be happy.
Oh, well, we think. I'm in LCS. Can you say?
Okay, oh boy, I want to talk about LNG so bad, but I can't really talk about them for that long. Hacker, SMLZ, used to have so much potential. I loved SMLZ. Potential. SMLZ was such a good ADC. They fell apart. Don't know what happened. 4-11, not good. Rogue Warriors, I know nothing about. They're a bad team.
I absolutely just know their names, but not the players themselves.
I know Crazy. He was in LCK for a while.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Haro was on EDG. Yeah. Billy. Ooh, what a team. So this team, I will skip everyone else and just say I'm really sad for Meteor. He's one of the best junglers in LPL. Even.
LPL.
I'm talking way too fast. One of the best junglers in LPL. He gets screwed over with these teams. I'm really sad. But for those of you who don't know, Fofo used to be one of the players I liked. He was in J Team. Now he is on Billy in China.
Right.
He was basically said on stream or whatever. I think it was specifically he said that he hoped his ex-girlfriend, I think, was pregnant so that he could like raped their daughter or whatever.
What the?
Whoa, that's
fuck?
And
very
now-
controversial.
Now
Bruh.
everyone calls him pedophobe, and they all want him gone.
That's
And-
fucked up.
Makes sense.
That's
Yeah,
really fucked up.
I'm really happy that he's out of playoffs.
Yikes.
Sad for me.
Did he not even said it as a joke, or he actually
No.
meant it?
No, it was definitely, he might have said it as a joke, but like I doubt he's actually wanting to do that. But like, regardless, it's fucked.
You don't
He said
say
that
that,
too.
It's
man.
very.
He said that to his ex-girlfriend who wasn't like joking around. So
My
whether
God,
he
what
joked it or not, it's fucked.
That ain't
That's
it.
very.
Yeah,
No.
Just to move on from
No.
that pedophile, we got EDG, really sad. Scout and Hope are such good players, but it just wasn't enough. The team fell apart. They've won 3 games in a row now, but it was too late. They're out of playoffs.
Very unlucky.
VC Gaming.
It's pronounced
VG.
VG Gaming.
Is it?
Okay.
It looks
Alright.
like VC gaming.
Yeah, it's really sad. They have Coma, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Put their roster together. Leon, who was on Invictus. They have Forge, who was on Invictus. They have iBoy, who was on EGG in the past.
iBoy was popping off in the past.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
He's a great player.
I'm really sad that this team didn't. They're 7-7. They're not terrible, but I'm really sad that they didn't go farther.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Then you got good old RNG. I have so much to say about RNG, but I will try to sum it up.
Strap in,
What the
boys.
fuck, RNG? What the fuck?
They're kind of shitting the bed, but I still have
There.
hope. I still have hope for them to make it to playoffs.
Let me quickly sum this up. Mata's their coach. Sick. Love Mata. Consider him the second best player to ever play the game. Ming, I still think is good. I don't know how to pronounce it. Gala, whatever.
Gala.
He actually has been pretty sick, in my opinion, as an ADC. And in the past, he was pretty bad, so I'm really surprised by this. And I'm hyped about it. Betty hasn't really got as much playtime this summer, but Betty was on the Flash Wolves roster that won a ton. He was their ADC. So he, but he got more play in the spring, and he's good, but it's nothing too special. This part pisses me off. Xiaohu is good, but Xiaohu has been playing for so long, and he's kind of washed up a bit. And RNG had a contract with Cryan, who was E-Star's mid laner.
Mm-hmm.
Cryan basically 1v5 carried them up to 10-4.
Damn.
And then RNG had this thing in their contract because he was technically on loan to E-Star, and they said at any point they could take him back. So they did that. They took him back, and he's been sitting on the bench, and it pisses me off because Cryan is so good.
It's very unexpected.
And then their jungler XLB is super good, but he's also super inconsistent. And then 705 was top esports top laner for a bit. Or no, top, yeah, no, I don't know. No, it was JDG's. JDG's top laner for at some point. But anyways, yeah, regardless, RNG's looking pissing me off. They look
Very
decent,
mid.
but they're pissing me off. Then to just sum up these
Sorry
other...
to disrupt you, Jeremy. We also have to because of the time we have to speed this up a little.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm trying to speak.
Speed.
All right. Speed one. Fun plus
Have to
Phoenix.
talk about
One Worlds. Now they don't look so hot. I don't really entirely know why, but now they've won the last 4 games. They're probably gonna make playoffs. Hopefully they go back to Worlds.
None
Hope
fun.
so.
I would
plus
say-
Phoenix.
Team WE. Love Team WE. They actually surprisingly look good. All their players look like they should be bad, but they all are actually pretty good. Teacher Ma, their mid laner, was the guy who was stuck in plat, so the LPL threatened to kick him out.
Bruh.
Wait, that was
He
an
was
actual
actually-
thing?
Yeah, he was actually kicking ass in LPL, but he was stuck in platinum for some reason.
Oh my god, that's
I don't
fucking
know why.
hilarious.
Oh, I'm moving to China, dude. I swear to God. If I'm hard stuck flat here.
He eventually got back to Challenger.
God damn.
Yeah, but then LGD, I was so hyped for this roster, so hyped. But
Oh, LGD.
they
The
look-
only player I know in LGD is Peanut.
they have Lang
That's
X. Lang X was RNG's top laner last split.
Oh yeah, right.
really hype about that, but yeah. Peanut is actually popping the fuck off. GA was WE's mid laner for a long time, and he got MVP multiple times, and he was really good, and he looks really good right now. And then Kramer and Kahlua bot lane. Now Kramer was super popping off last split, but now he looks really mad this split, and that's kind of unfortunate.
I can't remember which Kramer was.
Kramer used to be on Freak of Freaks.
Right.
And he was on Flash Wolves for a bit, but yeah. But anyways, then there's Victory 5. Oh god, Victory 5 went 0-17. 0-17, now they're 10-4.
What
10-5,
a comeback.
PP God is their support. His name is actually PP God. Everyone loves PP God.
That name, though.
To say about PP God, he's great. Everyone loves it. Sunning was a weird one. They have a support named Owo, apparently. I just saw that just now. He's playing
Oh,
shit, that's amazing.
oh,
You heard it in this podcast, folks.
I'm trying to speedrun this. Let's go. Sofem used to be a really good, was always really good jungler. He's good still, apparently. Sunning actually popped off the split. Then you got the top 3 teams. JDG, Invictus Gaming, Top Esport. All 3 of the teams that have been popping off all year. Jackie Love's a god still. Knight's a god. Karsa's a god. 369's god. You got fucking Baoland coming in and somehow making Invictus like the best team right now for some reason. What the fuck? Baoland was bad before. I don't know what happened. And then JDG, they got some good guys. There's too many people to talk about. If I wanted,
China's really big.
If I had time, I'd talk about all of them. Just know that all of them are such good players.
Yeah.
They're all fucking great.
But unfortunately, we don't again. There's like 17 teams in LPL. And we
can't.
LPL
gets to send 4 teams, and you know who I'm guessing is gonna go? JDG,
Sunning.
JDG, Invictus, Top Esports, and Fun plus Phoenix. I'm rooting for the boys. If it's not Fun plus Phoenix, I'm hoping for Victory 5 because PP God. I love Fun plus
support for PP God.
That's a legendary name right there.
Fun plus Phoenix is my favorite LPL team probably. So
they're a great team. I love their players.
That's LPL. And now we're talking about Brazil. No.
Wait.
No, we're not talking about the other regions because we're
small region time.
We don't. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to talk about it.
Tragic.
We have a time limit.
So
for now, we'll talk. We just finished talking about
transition
the 3 major regions, but yeah. So
hit us with that transition. Just to sum it up. Just to quickly sum it up. My predictions for Worlds were C9. TL, TSM, from EU, Rogue Warriors, Mad Lions. I'm gonna talk quiet. I'm gonna talk less loud because my god, I'm rushing myself.
Yeah.
Mad Rogue. It was G2.
Yeah.
And my guess was SK Gaming. And then for LCK, I was guessing DRX, Dam1, and T1, and then LPL, I'm guessing JDG, Invictus, Top Esports, and Fun plus Phoenix.
Yeah.
Just to sum it out all up. JP, hit us with that transition.
Explosion.
No, with that transition.
Boom.
I want my prediction, though.
Well, you can. Go for it.
Okay, obviously, for LCS, Cloud9, TL, FlyQuest, because nobody cares about the other bottom teams. for EU, G2, Rogue, Mad Lions, and then Fnatic. For LCK, obviously, we're gonna have to put T1, Dragon X, Damwon Gaming.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. For LPL, it's Fun plus Phoenix, JDG, Top Esports, and Invictus Gaming.
No Victory 5? No PP God?
Oof. Maybe replace Fun
Plus.
Plus.
The PP God? Oh,
maybe even replace Fun Plus for PP God.
Alright, hit us into that transition into the outro, bro.
Whoa! Now thank you for everyone for listening to our ranting and talking about our basically what we're passionate about, League of Legends. And after that, we will also be doing weekly podcasts, possibly other content as well. Who knows? And
whenever we have time for.
Yes, whenever we have time for, which is rarely. And obviously, everyone, I hope you guys find Eric, our boy Neuropidon, or XX XX,
God
help
damn
him
it.
find a job. Please, for the
Help!
love of God.
Please,
Help
I'm
our boy
desperate.
find a job.
Give me a minute, find a
desperate.
cat.
Give me a minute, find a cat.
The best
Please,
statement.
recommend him a
Post it on
job. And for me, JP, SioPau, or Jep, all my social medias will be in the description below. Please subscribe to my channel, obviously. And Atlan,
You can find me on twitch.tv/P1Atlan, Atlan on YouTube, P1Atlan on Twitter. Maybe do Instagram soon, but I don't know.
and then
Thank you for listening to our Scuffed podcast. That's
Very
all I
scuffed.
got.
we didn't let Eric speak for social
Alright,
media.
whatever. You guys got it covered, I guess.
Yeah, I'll put. Well, obviously we're gonna put Eric's his social media in the description below.
Eric, shout out
Hold
your
on, I got one last thing to.
Sure, go
Go
for
ahead.
it.
Alright, you ready?
Yes.
Alright. Makoto is the best girl in Persona 5. Fight me, I will destroy you.
Okay, everyone, thank you for watching.
Alright,
Have
peace out.
a good day.